At the round table this morning is my good friend from Vance Air Force Base, Lieutenant Colonel Erick Castro. Erick, or Colonel, it's good to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you again.
Good morning, Colonel.
Good morning. Great to see you again.
Great to see you too.
The Colonel and I have had a relationship, I guess, for the last maybe 2 years. I don't know. It's been a blur.
It has.
It's gone really quick. But thank you for joining us here at the round table today, and thank you for allowing me to sport your Vance shirt today. We call it kind of TV blue, so.
That looks great on you, Steve.
Do I get to keep it since I
Absolutely.
wore it? Okay, good. I was hoping I could somehow steal it from you. So anyway, thanks for joining us, and welcome to the round table.
Sure, my pleasure, my honor. Thank you.
Well, Colonel Castro, what is your role at Vance Air Force Base, for those that may not be aware?
Sure, yeah. I'm the commander for the 71st Force Support Squadron at Vance Air Force Base. And in a nutshell, what we take care of in the Force Support Squadron is everything that deals with people, everything from HR to quality of life programs, and even helping get folks ready to deploy out when we send folks out to the theater to defend freedom.
And how long have you been at Vance?
Just shy of 2 years. Getting ready to head out. Let's see, it's end of May, so end of next month.
Okay.
Very, very early July. I'm heading up to Nebraska.
Okay, very good. Now, we were introduced a year and a half, 2 years ago, through the Honorary Commander Program that's been going on for quite some time. Why don't you tell our viewers what in the world is the Honorary Commander deal?
Sure, yeah, it's
I mean, it's a real treat for me, but.
Oh yes, yeah, and same here as well. I've met some fantastic people, such as yourselves, through that program, and basically it's another community outreach program, as I call it, between the base and the local community of Enid, and where folks, such as yourselves, get a chance to have access to the base through one of the commanders on the base and kind of take a look, peek under the tent, if you will, of what we do at Vance Air Force Base. And so I've shown you everything for Support Squadron. You've had a chance to take a look at other functions through that program, the flying program, other areas like the military working dogs, things like that. Get a chance to see what else we do on the base other than just fly the airplanes.
Because so many people in town say, well, I know they train pilots and I see the planes go all day long, but as the Honorary Commander Program, we were introduced to different meetings, different leadership at Vance. And again, we were introduced to some of the flight training rooms that go into, and so it's really first-hand look at what some of the pilots go through.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
it was a real treat to do so. Well, we understand there's a big event coming up on June 2nd. June, can't believe we're talking.
I know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, June is almost here, And speaking of events, Vance Air Force Base also has this Summer Family Festival.
Yes.
And we understand that there's going to be a 5K run, a kids run, and a weightlifting challenge. Can you just tell us a little bit more about those 3 events?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. It's our Energize into Summer. It's our annual summer kind of kickoff event. So this one's going to be kind of fitness and health centered. As you know, there's going to be a 5K run for the adults and older kids. For our younger kids, we do have a fun run for them as well. Something new that we're bringing back, haven't done in a while, is basically a weightlifting challenge, Muscle Mania. So we got a lot of guys that are into lifting, and so we got that going on there. We're going to have food, bands. There's going to be some booths that some of our other activities on base will have out there. We're also going to try to have another sort of like a Cars and Coffee, call it an Advanced Motor Showcase, since it's an afternoon into the evening event. So we've invited Corvettes of Enid, Cars and Coffee of Enid, some folks on the base locally that have that are car enthusiasts, but also bikes, trucks, anything with wheels and a motor.
And that's what I wanted to ask about with this Vance Motor Showcase. You said there's bikes, but there's all kinds of cars. I mean, how does a person get involved, Colonel, when they're watching this show and they say, I've got an old 53 Chevy pickup, I'd sure like to go to Vance and participate. How does one do that?
Sure. You can reach us through our Vance Air Force Base Force Support Squadron Facebook, and then you can message my my marketing team there. If you don't already have access to the base, we will have to get your information for some basic security measures, get you on the entry authorization listing. You just provide your driver's license, name, number, your date of birth, and then our folks do the checks. And if you're good to go, you can get on base and participate, have some fun.
Let me piggyback a little bit on Jamar's question about the Summer Family Festival on June 2nd. Who is it for? I mean, sure, people on base are going to participate, but how about in the Enid community? Are you targeting people out there?
So of course, like our honorary commanders are absolutely welcome. like I said, we're opening it up so if you can get access to the base via the EAL, you can do that. Typically, in that one, we're inviting the, of course, the car folks as well, because there's a bigger, broader car community. But primarily it's for our airmen and their families. This is one of our quality of life events and programs that we do to help people relax and recharge and just enjoy life.
Now, how can people access the base? Again, we touch bases on messaging your marketing team and just going through that background information. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure, yes. So for an event like this, since we have invited some external, some organizations outside of the base, I've already mentioned before, it's the entry authorization list.
Okay.
And so if you get in contact with my marketing folks, what they'll ask for is really basic information so our security forces can do some checks to just make sure everything's good. And that's, again, the driver's license with the full name, driver's license number, I should say, state of issue, full name, and date of birth. And from there, they can clear it. Then my marketing guys, my marketing ladies, I should say, excuse me, will then get back with those folks that have contacted them and say, yep, everything's good to go, and we'll look forward to seeing you and hopefully your vehicle on the 2nd.
So how far in advance will they have to do this? Couple days or maybe a week?
Earlier is always better.
Okay.
I may get into a little bit of trouble with this, but I think the very, very bare minimum is 72 hours.
Okay.
But typically, about now is when our folks
Today.
will actually need that.
5 seconds ago. So.
Yes, we put the word out, a little while ago, and so hopefully folks are getting that and responding. But unfortunately, if folks try to show up the day of and they're not cleared to come through, we won't be able to let them on. So.
Okay.
Our special guest this morning at the round table is Lieutenant Colonel Erick Castro, Vance Air Force Base. Now, I know you're a Hokie, Virginia Tech Hokie, if you will. Military background with parents, brothers. I'm trying to remember some of the stories that you shared. This leads into my question, why the Air Force?
Well, because my dad was Army, and he said, I'm not going into the Army. But also the Air Force offered me a scholarship, where the other services, not as lucrative a deal.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like, growing up in an Army family, I was always going to be in the military. So here I am, over 19 and a half years later.
Wow.
Wow.
So yeah, that's in the short story. That's pretty much how I ended up in the Air Force.
We've got about 30 seconds. Memorial Day weekend. What goes on at Vance, and then what Memorial Day means to you?
All right. So Memorial Day weekend. Well, like I said, we're going to open our pool early tomorrow. Typically, we'll open on Saturday.
Okay.
Right. So we've worked it so we can open it up one day early for our families and airmen on base. A lot of folks will be taking time off.
Okay.
It's been extremely busy the last few months, and relaxing. So folks will probably go take leave or stay local, staycations, right? Memorial Day, what it means for me, kind of what you guys had said already, just kind of remembering those that have served and and sacrificed as well. So
very good. Lieutenant Colonel Erick Castro, appreciate your friendship. Thank you for what you do for us here in the Enid community.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because you are that liaison oftentimes between Vance and the Enid community, and appreciate your role, and thank you for your service.
Thank you again for having us on, or having me on, excuse me.
Best wishes on your new station.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it.